Okay, sitting on a mat, cross-leg kneeling, whatever your preference may be. Tilting the pelvis forwards, lengthening through the spine, rolling the shoulder blades backwards and closing your eyes. Just breathing normally, breathing naturally. Tuning into your body as it is in this present moment. Shifting our awareness away from thoughts, away from thinking. As we come into our bodies, into feeling. Tuning into every feeling, every sensation that our body has to offer. As we settle into the silence inside. Getting out of our heads, coming into our hearts. And as we tune into our bodies, as we settle, starting to soften. Softening our bodies, shoulders, jaws, and softening our breath. No thoughts need thinking about, and there is nowhere else to be. Taking control of your breath, breathing in deeper. Deep belly breaths in and out through the nose. Every inhale, filling the belly, filling your lungs. And as you exhale, squeezing all the breath out of the body. Deeper breaths in and longer breaths out. Feel that you're breathing with the entirety of your body, energizing every cell. With every breath in, the whole of your body expanding. And with every breath out, the whole of your body softening, releasing. So to open this evening's practice, we're going to do the Tamo Pranayama, the Wim Hof breath. So just a reminder how we do this: deep breath in through the nose, breathe into the belly, fill the lungs, and then exhale quickly out through the mouth, as quick as we can, getting all the breath out of the lungs for that next deep breath in. So round after round, it's like this. And when we do this breath work, get the shoulders moving. So when you inhale, lifting the shoulders, make extra space for your lungs. When you exhale, dropping the shoulders, just connecting the movement of your body with your breath. So we're going to do that for 90 seconds. So when you're ready, tilt the pelvis forwards, lengthen through the spine, rolling the shoulder blades backwards and closing your eyes. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Keep it going, nice and strong. Deep breath in, quick breath out. Every inhale as deep as you can. Every exhale, empty the lungs. Moving the shoulders, lift the shoulders, drop the shoulders. Maintain the intensity. Keep it going. 30 more seconds. Ten seconds. Keep it going. A few more breaths. And then deep breath in. Exhale. Hold the lungs empty, soften your body. Hold the breath. Keeping your focus, your attention inside your body. Keeping everything soft, relaxed. Holding your breath for as long as you can. But when you must, coming back into your breathing, deep belly breaths. And when you're back in your breathing, opening your eyes. Okay, so bringing the left leg under the right leg and bringing the right leg over the top, placing the whole sole of your right foot onto your mats. Wrap your left arm around the right leg, place your right hand onto the floor behind you, press down to the right palm, inhale for length, and as we exhale, left hand pulling on the right leg, twisting on the spine, pulling ourselves round, looking behind. So use the strength of the left arm, pulling the right leg into the body. And every exhale, try and squeeze the belly in, try and twist some more, taking the right shoulder blade further around behind you. 2 more breaths. And releasing, facing the front. Pull the right heel to the outside of your left bum. So you're trying to stack the knees one on top of the other, trying to bring the right knee on top of the left knee as best you can. From here, placing the right hand up and over behind the back between the shoulder blades, and then the left hand comes up behind the back, pulling down on the right hand, opening the right shoulder, getting the right arm out of the way of the head, and then breathing here, breathing into the right armpit, right chest. If you cannot grab hold of the fingers behind the back, use the left hand on the right elbow to push the arm down, push the right hand down between the shoulder blades, and then just working there. So 2 more breaths. And releasing the arms. So the feet don't move, spinning to the left. This brings the left knee on top of the right knee, coming all the way around. So that doesn't quite work. Just bringing the right leg under the left leg, bringing the left leg over the top. Again, trying to stack the knees one on top of the other as much as your body will allow. And then placing the left hand up and over behind the back between the shoulder blades, right hand up behind the back, right hand pulling down on the left hand. Again, get that left arm out of the way of the head so you can keep the length through the spine. But again, if you cannot bring the hands together between the shoulder blades, then right hand on the left elbow, pushing the arm down. But again, trying to keep the length in the spine, trying to keep the head out of the way. 3 more breaths. And releasing the arms. Placing your left foot flat on your mats, and then wrapping your right arm around the left leg, left hand behind the back, pressing the palm down. Inhale for length, exhaling. Once again, pulling on the leg, twisting on the spine, taking the shoulder blade round, following with the chin. Exhaling, squeeze the body in. Use the strength of your arm to pull deeper into the twist, looking further behind. Last breath. And releasing, facing forwards. Bring the right foot further forwards and then stack the lower legs one on top of the other as best you can. So left lower leg on top of the right lower leg. Try to get ankle to knee, knee to ankle alignment as best you can, mindful of your knees. If there is a sharp pain in either of your knees, you need to come out and readjust, helping to protect your knee by flexing your foot. So if you flex your foot, pull the toes back towards the shin, that should lock the lower leg in to keep your knees happy. And again, if you're here, it doesn't matter. Just getting as close to this as you can. Pull the meats of your bums, your sitting bones are facing backwards. Inhaling, reaching up, and as you exhale, folding forwards, reaching forwards, out in front of you, as far as you can, trying to bring your forehead down onto your mats. Deep belly breaths. If you're comfortably coming forwards and you would like to go further, then place the left hand on top of the left knee, your right elbow in front of your right toes with the right hand on the floor, and then pull with the right hand, press with the left hand, pressing into the left knee, twisting on the spine, looking over the left shoulder, up towards the ceiling. Again, using every breath, every exhale, squeeze the belly in. If you're twisting, trying to twist some more. If you're reaching, trying to reach some more. Last breath. And easing off, calming up. Swapping the legs over, try not to use your hands. See if you can get a perfect swap just using your legs. And again, ankle to knee, knee to ankle alignment, protecting your knees, mindful of your knees. Sitting bones facing backwards. And again, inhaling, reaching up, exhaling, folding forwards, far out in front of you, coming over the legs, bringing your forehead towards the floor. And maybe the right hand pressing down into the right knee, left elbow in front of the left toes, left hand pulling on the right side of your mats as you twist, pressing down into the right leg, looking over the right shoulder up towards the ceiling. So again, twisting on the spine, otherwise reaching out further in front of you, trying to really come forwards over the legs. Two more breaths. Deep belly breathing, listening to every breath. And easing off, calming up. Coming onto all fours. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And as we inhale, reach the right hand forward and the left leg behind, so finding length through the whole of your body. As you exhale, crunching in. Either bringing the right elbow to the left knee, or the elbow to the belly button and the knee to the forehead, crunching in as small as you can, and then inhaling again, finding length, reaching long, pushing back through the right heel, left heel, pushing through the right fingers, and again exhaling, crunching in, squeezing in, just moving with your breath. So the deeper you breathe, the slower you move, and the slower you move, the more control as you move between opening and closing the body, pushing back through the heel. So toes point down. Yeah, that's it. Push back the heel, pushing through the heel. So one more breath, one more crunch. And then back onto all fours, and same again, going the other way. So again, inhaling, left hand forwards, right leg behind. Exhaling, crunching in, moving slowly, moving with control. So if you wobble, if you lose your balance, moving slower. Try and have the body engaged everywhere to support you as you move, keeping your balance. Inhaling for length, exhaling, squeezing in. So one more breath. And then coming back, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips to come into puppy pose. So sliding your hands forwards out in front of you, tilt from the pelvis, lengthen through the spine, trying to press your chest, your heart onto your mats. Either forehead on the floor, working here, otherwise looking up between the hands, trying to press your chin and chest to the floor at the same time. So turning your armpits away from you, feel your shoulder blades coming in closer behind as you try and open in the chest, breathing into the breast, melting your heart onto your mats. Two more breaths. Strong breaths, breathing through the nose. And then pulling your hands back towards you, tucking your toes and bringing the bum to the heels, pressing down into your hands, lifting your knees as you bring your foreheads to your mats. So really pressing into the hands, pressing away through the shoulders, pushing the bum back into your heels, knees hovering, trying to bring your head through your arms as close to your mats as your knees are. Two more breaths here. And then the upper body is perfectly aligned. All you need to do is push back through the knees, come into your downward facing dog. So you keep pushing the floor away, sending your hips higher up in the air, pressing down into both of your heels, and then just cycle the legs. So bending the right knee, pressing down through the left heel, holding for a good 4 or 5 breaths. Nice deep belly breathing, taking your time to stretch through the left leg. And after 4 or 5 breaths on the left leg, swapping the legs, bending the left knee, pressing down through the right heel. Keep driving your hips up into the air, keep pushing the floor away, lengthening through the sides of both your bodies. And then stepping one foot in front of the other, start walking forwards up your mats, walking into a forward fold. So big toes together, small gap between the heels, grabbing a hold of your elbows, and then just hanging forwards out of your hips. So let gravity do the work for you as you soften in the hips and the legs and the lower back. Soften your neck, allow the full weight of your head to hang forwards, pulling on your spine, pulling you out of your lower back. Legs as straight as they can be without locking the knees in. Last breath. And then hanging your arms. Nice and slowly stacking each vertebrae one on top of the other. Stacking your spine, slowly coming up. Full weight of your head still hanging forwards until finally you come all the way up to standing, coming into Tadasana, mountain pose. So big toes together, small gap between the heels, straightening through the legs, lengthening through the spine, rolling shoulder blades back towards each other, palms facing front. Deep belly breath in. Exhaling, the hands come together. Inhaling, reaching up to the ceiling, deep belly breath. Exhaling, swan dive to a forward fold, hands on the floor. Inhaling, stepping the right foot back, come to runner's lunge. Hold the breath, kick back to plank. Exhaling, knees to the floor, chest between the hands, chins on the mat. bums in the air. Inhaling, sliding up to cobra, pressing hips down, lifting shoulders. Exhaling, tucking toes and lifting hips, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands as we inhale, stepping the right foot between the hands. Exhaling, left foot between the hands. Inhaling, reaching through the whole of your body, pressing into your heels. Exhaling, returning to Savasana, mountain pose. And again, breathing in. Exhaling, the hands come together. Inhaling long through the sides of the body, reaching through the fingers. Exhaling, swan dive to forward fold, hands on the floor. Inhaling, stepping the left foot back, come to runner's lunge. Hold the breath, kick back to plank. Exhaling, knees to the floor, chest between the hands, chin on the mat, bums in the air. Inhaling, sliding up to cobra, pressing hips down, lifting shoulders. Exhaling, tucking toes and lifting hips, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands, as we inhale, stepping the left foot between the hands. Exhaling, right foot between the hands. Inhaling, reaching through the whole of your body, deep belly breath. Exhaling, returning to Savasana, mountain pose. Last round, deep breath in. Exhaling, the hands come together. Inhaling last time, reaching through the whole of your body, pushing the hips forward, bit of the back bend. As we exhale, bend the fingers. Bend the knees, fingertips, touch the mat, keep the bums low, lift the hands high. Imaginary chair pose. So weight is in the heels, toes pressing down. If you look down, you should be able to see all 10 toes. If you can't, take the knees further back. Bums low, hands high, looking up between the hands, squeezing your shoulder blades in behind you, pulling them down away from the ears, long through the spine, flat in the back, holding for 2 more breaths. And then folding forwards, hands on the mat, stepping or jumping back to a plank. Half press up, chaturanga, nice and low to your mat, elbows close into the body. As we inhale, coming through into upward facing dog. So tops of your feet on the floor, pressing down on the feet, lift the knees, lift the hips, pulling your chest forwards through the arms. Shoulder blades squeezing in behind you as you press into your hands, shoulders coming away from the ears. Breathing to the back bend. Three more deep belly breaths. Pressing to the hands, pressing to the feet. As we exhale, tucking the toes, lifting your hips, downward facing dog. And then stepping the right foot between the hands. Drop your left knee to the floor, top of your left foot on your mats. Inhaling, both hands reaching up. As we exhale, crescent moon. So, for a deeper lunge, bringing the right foot further forwards, stabilizing the pelvis, pulling the right hip back, left hip forwards, so your hips move forwards together. As the hips move forwards together, shoulders move backwards, going for that crescent moon shape through the whole of your body, through the whole of your spine. Hips forwards, hands backwards, or any variation you're working with. Just trying to open the front of the body, breathing into the front of your left thigh. Two more breaths. And then folding forwards, hands either side of your right leg. Step your right foot forwards, pull your right toes back, get the right knee locked in. So keep the knee locked in, pull the right hip back, extending over the right leg to walk your hands forwards. Keep pulling your right toes back towards you as you fold from the hips through the spine, down the leg, trying to bring your forehead to the knee, down the shin. Using every breath, squeeze the belly in as you exhale, empty your lungs, try and drop a bit deeper. Two more breaths. keeping the right knee locked in, bring your hands back towards you, and then bring your hands to the left side of your mat, framing your left knee, to then turn on your left knee and come up, looking off to the left side of your mats. So hips off to the left side, shoulders above the hips, and right knee stays locked in, pulling your right toes back towards you. Bring the right hand behind the right leg, inhaling up through the left side of your body. As you exhale, reaching the left hand towards the right toes. Maybe the right fingers land, maybe the right palm lands on your mats, but make sure you're not coming out of alignment. Try and stay in a straight line so the shoulders coming directly over the hips, down the right leg, and the left hand reaching for the right toes. Again, keeping the right knee locked in, keep pulling your right toes back towards you. Breathe into the left lung. Keep pulling the top shoulder blade backwards so you can see underneath the arm up towards the ceiling. Every exhale, empty that left lung. Last breath. And then folding forwards, hands either side of the right leg, coming back onto your mats and pulling your right foot back towards you. So right foot, whole sole of your foot back on your mats, tucking your left toes, straightening the left leg, lifting the left knee, coming up into high lunge. So keeping that right knee above the right ankle as we inhale, both hands reaching up, and as we exhale, bringing the hands to our hearts, finding the balance, and then stabilizing the pelvis, pulling the right hip back, left hip forwards. Feel that you're trying to pull both thighs together as you're pressing down into the right heel, pushing back into the left heel, keeping your shoulders above your hips and shoulders down away from the ears as you lengthen through the crown of your head. Gonna go for 5 left knee taps with 5 breaths. So deep breath in as we exhale, bend the left knee, tap your mats. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up. I think that was 5. Inhaling, both hands reaching up. And as we exhale, folding forwards, hands on the mat, kicking the right foot back, downward facing dog. Option to rest, option to freestyle, do what you want to do, otherwise vinyasa with your breath. Inhaling plank, exhaling press up, inhaling up dog, exhaling down dog. So back in your downward facing dog, stepping the left foot between the hands, right knee to the floor, top of your right foot on your mats. Inhaling, reach up to the ceiling, exhaling, present mood. So remember, the intention with our crescent moon is that one day both our hands will be holding onto our right foot behind us. Nice deep back bend. So stabilizing the pelvis, pulling the left hip back, right hip forwards, hips moving forwards, hands moving backwards, or again working with whichever variation you're choosing today. Deep belly breaths, breathe into the open spaces. Last breath. And then folding forwards, hands either side of the left leg. Stepping your left foot forwards, pulling your left toes back, get the left knee locked in. Again, pull the left hip back, extend over the left leg. Walk your hands forwards, tilt from the pelvis, lengthen through the spine. Folding down the left leg, trying to bring your forehead to the knee or down the shin. Again, keeping that left knee locked in, don't let the left knee bend. If it does start to bend, don't go so far forwards, bring the hands further back. keep the knee locked, keep the toes pulling back. Feel the stretch from the hip to the heel, whole of the back of the left leg. Squeeze on the exhale, empty your lungs, listen to your breath as it passes through your nostrils. So last breath, and then keeping your left knee locked in, bring your hands back towards you, and then framing your right knee on the right side of your mats, twisting on the right knee to come up, looking off to the right side of your mat, shoulders above your hips. Keep pulling the left toes back towards you, keeping the left knee locked in, left hand behind the left leg, inhaling up through the right side of your body, and as you exhale, reaching for the left toes. Again, maybe you land on the left fingertips, maybe you land on the left palm, the top shoulder blade pulling backwards so you can see underneath the arm up towards the ceiling. Keep extending out of the right hip through the whole right side of your body, stretching from the hip through to the fingers. Keep pulling your left toes back towards you. 2 more breaths. And then folding forwards, hands either side of the left leg, coming back at your mats, pulling your left foot back towards you. And then tucking your right toes, setting up for your high lunge. So pushing back through the right heel, lifting the right knee, pressing down into the left heel as we inhale, both hands reaching up. And as we exhale, hands at the heart. So just checking our alignment. Left knee above and before the ankle, so we can really press down into the left heel, pushing back into the right heel, feet facing the same direction. We're on train tracks, and we're pulling the hips in together, left hip back, right hip forwards. So 5 breaths, 5 right knee taps. Deep breath in as we exhale, tapping the right knee. Inhale up. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, and exhale down. Inhale up, inhaling both hands, reaching up. As we exhale, folding forwards, hands either side of the left leg, kicking the left foot back, downward facing dog, and again, option to rest, freestyle, otherwise vinyasa with your breath. And then back in our downward facing dogs. We're going to step the right foot between the hands, bringing the left knee to the floor. We're working on Hanumanasana, which is essentially the splits. So, sliding the right foot out in front of us, pulling the right toes back to lock the right knee in. We're then sliding the left foot behind us, and it's just a matter of kind of teasing the foot forwards, the knee backwards, trying to get the hips lower and lower to our mats. So you can, just a bit of playing around, bit of experimenting, kind of bending the knees, straightening the legs, walking the heels forwards, just to see how low you can get in the hips and the pelvis. When you've gone as low as you can, try to bring your hands back towards you so that your shoulders are above your hips. So that way, all the weight is going down into the hips, and using your breath, trying to get lower and deeper, opening the hips, breathing here. Maybe every few breaths you can maneuver a bit, try and get a bit lower, open the legs a bit wider. So 2 more breaths with the right leg forwards. And then bring the shoulders forwards, bring your hands forwards, pull your right foot back towards you. And take the right leg behind. Take a moment if you need. But when you're ready, bring in the left foot forwards. And same again. Trying to bring the left foot further forwards, trying to take the right knee further behind, just teasing out the legs, forwards and backwards, whichever way you can get a little bit deeper, a little bit lower. And again, when you feel you've gone as deep as you can, as low as you can in the legs, maybe to go further, you bring your shoulders back above your hips. And again, just trying to send all the way down through the pelvis and encourage the legs to split, to open. A few more breaths here. So last 2 breaths with the left leg forwards. And then bringing the shoulders forwards, bringing your hands forwards, and then pulling your left foot back towards you. And then coming down to laying on your bellies, on your mats. So when you're here, coming up onto your elbows, grab a hold of your elbows to bring them directly underneath your shoulders, and then placing your palms flat on your mats in front of you, forearms parallel, coming into Sphinx pose. So, pressing into your forearms, pressing into your elbows, lifting your chest as high as you can, pulling your shoulder blades back towards you, trying to open the chest as much as possible. And then breathing here, feeling your belly move against your mats, moving against the floor. And we're going to be going through a few back bends, a few back postures. Each posture is going to be taking us a bit deeper than the previous one. So be mindful of your backs, listen to your spine, don't push it. If it feels like too much, return to the previous posture. And if it's still too much, then just resting, coming down to your mats, and allow your back to settle. But otherwise, lifting the chest as high as you can. To go further in Sphinx pose, bring your elbows closer back in towards your body and try and lift the chest. Again, coming up, opening the chest, pulling the shoulder blades backwards, and breathing into the lower back. And either staying here, working with Sphinx pose, otherwise we come into seal, just lifting the elbows but not locking the arms in. So keeping the elbows bent keeps the weight in the lower back. Keep pulling the shoulders down away from the ears, keep opening the chest. Now, as we start to lift up higher, be mindful of your hips. So if your hips start to lift away from your mats, you don't have the flexibility in your spine to come up any higher. So making sure your hips stay in contact with your mat, but if you want to lift up higher, you can bring your hands closer in towards the body. Again, for now, keeping the elbows bent, keep pulling the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Feel the weight in the back, engaging the muscles, warming the muscles up. Breathing is deep, deep belly breaths through the nose. So one more breath, and then we can lock the elbows in. So this takes the weight out of the back, so now we're just working the flexibility in the spine. And again, coming up as high as you like, mindful of your hips, but otherwise bringing your hands as close in towards your bodies as you like, as you're comfortable with, pulling shoulders down away from the ears, opening the chest, maybe looking up towards the ceiling. And an option to go one step further. If your elbows are locked in, then you're bending your knees, trying to bring your feet forwards and trying to pull your head back toward your toes. Try and bring the forehead and the toes to touching. So last 2 breaths wherever you are. And then slowly, gently lowering back down onto our bellies, onto our mats. So having a few breaths here, just allow the back to settle for a moment. You can rest your hands in front of you, resting your head on your hands as a pillow. Just a couple of breaths, breathing into the lower back, breathing into the spine. Just allowing it to soften, loosen. But when you're ready, next, again, one hand on top of the other at the tops of our mats and resting our forehead on top of our hands. From here, we're going to bend the knees, take the knees to be mat width apart and have the big toes touching. So kind of like a triangle shape with the legs. And then pressing into the forehead, we're going to lift the knees as high as we can up in the air. Trying to bring the knees off the mats. So you squeeze the bum, squeeze the thighs, lift the knees, keep the knees wide, and keep the big toes touching. Two more breaths. And lowering the knees, lowering the legs. So if I could see you from underneath, then I want you to look like this. So you're laying on top of your arms, palms on your mats, and if possible, pinky fingers touching together. If not, doesn't matter, you can have the hands a bit wider. But otherwise laying on top of your arms and chins on your mats. Focusing only on the right leg, point your right toes to the back of the room and lift your right leg as high as you can, up in the air. Try not to use your hands or your left leg, only the right leg, keeping the leg long by pointing through the toes, lifting the leg high, and breathing here for a few breaths. And lowering the right leg, same with the left leg, pointing through the left toes, lifting the left leg high up in the air. So no bend in the knee, just keeping the leg long, lifting the leg high. And lowering the left leg. It may next help to have your forehead on your mats, because now both legs together, lengthening through both legs, pointing both sets of toes towards the back of the room and lifting both legs as high as you can. This time, you can press down into your hands, into your arms, to lift your hips as well. So eventually, only your forehead, chest, and your arms will be on your mats. The rest of your body is lifting up, lifting the legs as high as you can, getting your hips off the floor. 3 more breaths here. And lowering the legs down, taking the arms out from underneath you. Have a moment, have a breather. So last few back postures. So from baby cobra, remember baby cobra, if we lift the hands or have the hands down, there shouldn't be any difference in the shape of our body. We should have the chest just as high with the support or without the support. So coming into baby cobra, to then come into King Cobra. We bring the hands together behind the back, clasping the fingers, and as we push the hands back, we lift the chest up. And keeping the feet down, only working in the spine, trying to lift the chest as high as we can. So naturally, with your breath, you will rise and fall. Try and figure out when you can get that higher lift and try and stay higher with every lift. So one more breath. And lowering back down. So from King Cobra, full locust. The full locust, reaching behind us, but the hands are not together this time. So just reaching behind. This time the legs lift as well, and everything lifting up, everything long, looking forwards, squeezing the shoulder blades in, lengthening everything to the back of the room, and lifting everything as high as you can. So try and lift the chest, try and lift the legs, try and keep the feet together. Feel all the muscles along your spine, squeezing, working, pulling, and lowering back down onto your mats. So one more back posture. Crocodile pose. Same as locust, but with the variation on the arms. So rather than the hands reaching behind us, the hands are on the back of the head, and we're reaching the elbows forwards and trying to push the elbows in front of us. So make sure your elbows are not out to the sides. Try and bring them to reach forward. So you're trying to stretch your body in two different directions. So stretching the elbows forwards, stretching the legs backwards, so the body is long, and then lifting everything as high as you can. And then with your elbows, you're looking at where you're stretching your elbows to. And lowering back down onto your mats. Stay here for as long as you need, just to rest your back. Otherwise, coming into child's pose. So bringing the knees forward, shins on the floor, bums on the heels, and either variation that you prefer. I feel that original baby pose with the arms either side of your legs does work on loosening the back a bit better. But any variation you prefer, resting your forehead on your mats, breathing into your lower back, breathing through your spine. And just softening everything. Soften your arms, soften your shoulder blades, allow everything to just fall away, everything to soften, everything to release. Allow the back to open up. Three more breaths. And then today, up to you for your Shavasana. You can take regular Shavasana laying on your back as you normally do, or you can have Shavasana laying on your belly, laying on your mats, arms either side of you. This can be a very grounding, relaxing posture. Just laying on your belly. But entirely Up to you how you want to do your relaxation. So it doesn't really matter which way you turn your head. The idea is that every time you do this, you turn the other way. So don't worry about turning your head every few breaths. Obviously, if you do start to feel uncomfortable on one side, feel free to turn your head. But otherwise, just softening your whole body, letting go of control of your breath, returning to your normal, natural breathing. Breathing naturally, breathing gently, while observing your breath. As you lay here on your belly, you can really feel your breath as your body moves against your mats. So just for a little while longer, stay out of your head, stay in your body, feeling without thinking, and just observing. Maybe using your breath as the guide to move around your body. And breathe into parts of you. And breathe into areas to build that connection. Strengthening that mind-body connection, where every breath is a bridge between the mind and the body. Use your breath to explore, to be still, and to remain in the silence of a quiet mind. And then breathing deeply, getting ready to move. Wiggling fingers and toes, rotating wrists and ankles, and then moving any way that feels good for you. Full body stretch, bit of a twist. And when you're ready, making your way to sitting on your mats. Lovely. Thank you very much. Namaste.